Well, a scorching hot day in Lahore, one that the Multan Sultans absolutely had to win, but it was all the way of the Karachi Kings. An absolute total demolition job by them. 87-run win and a big nick from Ubaid Shah off the bowling of Mir Hamza to end the misery, unfortunately, for the Multan Sultans, but it was an emphatic 87-run win to the Karachi Kings, back into some form in some serious style, and some very happy Kings fans all around Pakistan celebrating a wonderful win. An absolute pleasure to have your company with us in the pitchside studio as we look at the story of the game, and Karachi Kings winning the toss. Captain David Warner said, "Bowlers, put your feet up. We're going to attack this one first," and they put on a massive 204 for 4. A great opening stance between Warner and Cypher got them off to a flying start in the power play. Then James Vince came in and does what he does, 65 red ink with Niazi in the middle there, finished off brilliantly by Khushal Shah, 33 off 13. And in reply, well, the bowlers, Mohammad Nabi was simply unplayable, 3 for 14 through the middle there. Mir Hamza great with the new ball. Khushal Shah 2 for 26. It was a wonderful all-round performance by the entire bowling unit. And what does that do to the standings now? Well, Karachi Kings, wonders for their net run rate. That's what's happened. They go straight into the positive now, sitting in 4th on 8 points. But as you can see, 2, 3 and 4, a big log jam there with Islamabad United still sitting pretty in 1st. Oh, what a win it was to the Karachi Kings, and what a pleasure to be able to unpack all of the action alongside David Warner, captain of Karachi Kings, and Mark Butcher. Davey, thank you so much for your time. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win again. You have to be happy about that rebuild from the boys after the last match.
Yeah, I am, and we've had a couple of days off now just to, just relax and chill out, and the boys sort of, put the tools down and just play some games, and there's a lot of cards going on in our group, so it's just been good just to drop the tools and just relax. So, but the way that the bowlers have been, for us, has been fantastic. I asked from at the start, power play is our main focus, and I want you to be aggressive. I don't want you going defensive if you start getting hit. I want you to still be that aggressive, or take that aggressive mindset and try and take wicket, because I think that's where the game is won or lost. And we know the stats of the game: 3 in the power play, you generally win most of the game. So look, the way that they've been going, I've absolutely enjoyed that.
Oh no, I was going to say well done. I mean, what a performance. The bowling aside, batting wise, yourself and Tim Seifert came out flying in the power play. Slight disappointment perhaps for both of you to get out in a flash there, having got off to such a flyer.
That's my pet hate in this game, is losing 2 wickets back to back, and I knew that as well, but we both just spoke about the wicket was so true, and it was in your zone to go after it, and that's what I mean by still taking that positive approach and mindset. And I spoke about it before with Uruj, is that Vincey, we know he's going to come in and play the way he does, and if we can set the tone for that, he can bat around the younger guys, and for them to come out the way that they played today was the group that I know. And I know Niazi's been in and out of the team, but we know what he can do. Kush has been all around fantastic for us, and that last game, we know how much it hurt us as a group, and for them to come out and still have that positive approach, I was extremely proud.
A lot of sways and momentum right throughout that innings as well. I want to ask you about the conditions, because in both sides we saw the middle overs be really important, the spinners, particularly you with Mohammad Nabi coming in and really taking the game away. But how did you actually see that wicket playing out there? Because you guys look like you're on a totally different surface to the Paul Sultans.
Yeah, and look, I probably wouldn't have bowled Nabi and Kush that many if Farway didn't go down with a slight hamstring injury. So for me, I felt like the more pace you took off it, the harder it was to hit. And if you're that type of fast bowler that can really rip it into the wicket, you'll have a lot of success on there. And that's one thing that Vincey said to us when we came off. If you're going to bowl wide, it has to be really into the wicket. And I think Dave really did that early on to us, and it was hard to get that momentum of when the ball's into the wicket to try and hit pockets. So that was the hardest thing to do. And our spinners, they did the same thing. Like Nabi, I think he was bowling at 70 Ks at one stage, but he's so cagey. He's bowled on these type of wickets for so long. But the President and Kush, I felt, bowled outstanding.
It was brilliant to watch them go about their business, actually, because tell us a little bit about Mohammad Nabi. I've seen him play all over the world. He's one of these finger spinners that has the art of being able to land the ball in the same place but get it there 4 or 5 different ways. What's his sort of vibe in the dressing room? He looks like he's a very relaxed character.
No, he is, and it's like when I face him in the nets, he just laughs at me, because it's like you can't go after him. Like, you just can't. And statistically, his record against right-handers is phenomenal compared to left-handers. So I think just what he brings to the table is not just his experience, but his caginess. You don't have to tell him what field to set or what's a bowl. He just knows what he needs to do, and his figures at the moment through the tournament have been fantastic. And it doesn't matter how good the wicket is or how bad the wicket is, his economy rate's fantastic, and it's great. It's great to have up your sleeve.
3 for 14. You said Butch on comms, he was indecipherable, and I think that was exactly the way to describe what he did today. He must be an absolute time to face in the nets.
What does that mean?
Big words from Butch.
Oh, that's the English coming out of you, eh?
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
No, but that's exactly what he is, and that's how he operates, and it's just the experience. He's played for so long, in international cricket for so long as well. Played in these franchise tournaments for so long, and as I said, just to have his experience there and work around this group as well, it helps me. It really helps me to have him, Haas, and even Shah Masood, the Pakistan captain as well. To have those guys here to help myself and the rest of the international guys is outstanding.
Obviously, the language of the game is something that's well known, but how has it been with you with all the Pakistani guys and the Urdu bouncing around in the dressing room? How have you coped with captaining a team from this part of the world?
Look, the good thing is everyone's very receptive with how we want to play the game, and we all come from the background of playing cricket, but so different of the way to play. And that's the interesting barrier I find is the way that people want to play the game. Not so much the English, in the translation. It's about how you want to play the game of cricket. That's where I find sort of the language is. It's how we play the game. And when you buy in as a team and coming over here and trying to, sort of take our kind of aggressive approach as an Australian and lift the spirits of the boys and say, no, this is what we need to do. The game is to score runs and take wickets. There's none of this defending stuff. We adapt.
And you're a specialist, because I remember Ben Cutting, my husband, telling me when you guys were playing for Sunrisers, when you had the Fizz, Mustafa Rahman, for the first time, you come up and try and set a field, and you say problem or no problem, and he'd go problem or no problem, and you found a way to communicate no matter what.
Exactly, and I see these memes as well with Fizz, is that I was pointing to my head, or what people didn't see, I was kicking my feet, and that was my saying to him, well, bowl a short ball or bowl at his toes, and that's where we were so skillful. So I think everyone was thinking that I'm saying to him, what are you doing? But it's the language barrier that you have to actually have with the communication of cricket.
So just explain for the folks at home what you mean about this, sort of like the intentions of the team and the difference that you want to bring into it, and how you want them to basically to read the game for themselves in a much more attacking style. What does that mean practically?
The perfect way to explain it was the last game that we played. We were in such a comfortable position, but we just went into our shell with the batting. We didn't look to rotate strike. We sort of just, milked it around and lost wickets at those times that we didn't need to. So if you keep taking the game on and looking to score, putting pressure back on the bowlers, that's what I say about being positive. And with the ball, it's about looking for wickets, but not searching. It's bowling the zone that you need to bowl. If they hit you off a good length and a good ball, that's the game of cricket. It's going to happen. As a batsman, I want to put pressure back on the bowler, but I'd rather you stay there longer than change your mindset and change the field. Because in that first 6, you've only got 2 fielders.
Yeah.
And of course the batsman's trying to look outside that circle to hit.
We're talking about putting pressure on the bowlers. That's exactly what you yourself did at the top of the order in the power play. Let's relive David Warner's boundaries.
Early decided to take the spin on and go over mid-wicket. You gave Bracewell nowhere to go because he started then to get wider of off stump to you.
Yeah, and the wicket was quite true at this stage. The ball's still new, so on these type of surfaces, when outside the 6, the ball will start getting a little bit older and it will start being slower off the wicket. But for me, it was about trying to approach the power play as well as we have, and trying to get off a good start.
Perfect start. Then James Vince and Kushtil Shah came in at the end and put the icing on the cake. I just wanted to ask you about Kushi, because Pakistan's been crying out for a power hitter, particularly in the back end, to try and finish the games for the national squad. And under your leadership, we've already seen him flourish. What's your communication been like with him, and what kind of confidence have you given him to be able to finish these games for you at the back end?
Yeah, look, he's got such a unique swing of the bat as well. It's something that, as us left-handers, I couldn't do that. And when he's looking to hit straight, he's so powerful. And that's one thing I try and explain to the guys is, when you got good wickets, if you're looking to hit straight, you end up hitting it to mid-wicket or square leg, right? But if you're looking to hit square of the wicket, you're probably not going to time the ball as well as you like. And the way that he's been playing, he's just taking that aggressive approach, and that's a mindset thing. And I think that's the difference between countries and how you go about the game. And if they don't come off 3 times or 4 times, they then try and go, all right, I need to try and score some runs, or I need to change the way that I play. You don't need to. Just attack it the way that you should.
Yeah, well, brilliant performance today. Congratulations on a huge bounce back. I can see your media manager just eyeing you off to get you on the team bus, so we will let you go. Thank you so much for your time. Love having you a part, and well played today.
Thank you both. Cheers.
Thanks, mate.
All right, we are off to a very short break here in the pitchside studio, but do stick with us. Of course, we've got another game to come and still a bit more to chat about with the game we've just seen. Well, it was a massive congratulations to the Karachi Kings, a huge 87-run win against the Multan Sultans today. Sultans had absolutely no answers with the bat or with the ball against the Kings. I now have a brand new panel alongside me for Pitchside Studio, Lisa Staleka and Basil Khan. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lisa, I mean, Karachi wanted to bounce back after a poor chase, and I mean, what a victory that one was.
Yeah, I think the break has done them exceptionally well. 6 days off. We heard David Warner talk about just getting away, tools down, and a chance just to forget about cricket for a change, and that's been probably the saving grace for them, because they've come out here and played extremely well. They won the toss and were able to put on a lot of runs, and that really put them in the front seat.
Bazid, I think this Karachi Kings versus what we've seen in recent seasons is the ability to dig themselves out of holes of form. Even though they've gone win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, they've managed to find a way to actually get back to winning ways, which has been so impressive.
And also, I think that now the leadership is kicking in. It takes a little time once you come to a new franchise. Obviously, an overseas captain who's overall in the HBL PSL, apart from Darren Sammy, there's not been an overseas captain that has had an impact. This is a chance for Warner to make an impact, and maybe now with their rise and with that sort of iffy start, this might be something special for them.
What do you think he's brought to the side that we haven't seen for the Kings in recent years?
I reckon there's a lot more aggressive intent, and also the fact that he's quite stubborn and is speaking his mind. Stubborn in the way that he wants things done, and he's putting his foot down. He spoke his mind when they lost the previous day, and he said that they'd faltered. So the message is clear, and there's no stepping back from that. And sometimes I think Karachi Kings sort of beat around the bush too much, but there's no beating around the bush this time. It's just straight to the point. It's almost like Lisa Staleka when she gets straight to the point.
I don't know, that's a cheap shot, I reckon. But I think there's no grey area. I think the one thing that you've noticed about us Australians, we're pretty straight to the fact, and there's an element of how they play their cricket, and David Warner has been very successful for a very long period of time of playing that type of format or brand of cricket, and he's trying to instill that in the rest of the group.
We saw what he did during the Big Bash League with a flailing Sydney Thunder, who somehow made the Big Bash final with a huge turn of form, so already having an impact, as you said, Buzzard. But for the Multan Sultans, not a lot of refreshing moments for them throughout the entire 40 overs, but there was one that caught Lisa Staleka's eye.
Yeah, I would have to say Ubaid Shah has been the shining moment for them throughout this campaign. And even when they were under the pump and they were leaking runs, almost 17 runs per over, he picks up the wicket of Tim Cypher and has a bit of mongrel about him and gives him a bit of a serve on the way out, which was great.
A little bit of aggro, a little bit of spice, Bazard. You like a bit of that, don't you?
Yeah, that's the way it should be. And if you're a fast bowler and you're not having the aggro, well, maybe turn to spin.
It's all about the celebration too, isn't it? Wonderful to see the young man, the emerging player coming through and doing so well, Lise. What have you liked about what he's managed to bring to the side this year as well with his limited opportunities?
Look, to be fair, I mean, Ali Raza as well, the two under-19 guys from that World Cup coming in and having an immediate impact in the HBL PSL. And to be fair, the conversation I had with Naseem Shah, his older brother, saying that his father didn't actually want him to play cricket. He wanted to go study. And
he already had a couple in the national side?
That's right. And so one needs to go study and earn and have an education. But he was hell-bent on wanting to play cricket and fought his father, and then to be able to kind of prove his point out here. I like those stories. I like a player just maybe having to fight for it a little bit more, and then I guess it means a little bit more, and you can see that in his performances.
Maybe fighting for it in the backyard too.
Yeah,
Who gets to bowl?
Imagine the backyard cricket. I'd be terrified. Absolutely terrified. Get your head blown off every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Who's putting the pads on though?
Well, I asked the question and no one told me.
No answer.
I said, anyone who's batting, or is it just we just aim at the stumps?
Just stumps practice.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, it wasn't only the fast bowling by Ubaid Shah that was something that they could look to the future with for the Multan Sultans. Some wonderful fielding as well. Let's take a look at the safe hands of the day.
Yeah, smashed away pretty flat, but you know, when you dive forward, especially when the ball's coming quickly and flat at you, it is Chris Jordan with immaculate judgment. You have to A, get to the ball, judge it perfectly, also take care of your teeth. If it bounces in front of you, you're in danger. But this guy is so good in the field. We've seen this so many times, and I tell you, TV doesn't do justice to what skill it takes.
Brilliant work by Chris Jordan there. One of the best in the world in the field. Yeah, awesome stuff by Chris Jordan there. In fact, he took it so cleanly, Lisa, that I think we had to look at it in the third umpire for a little bit longer because no one believed him that he'd actually caught it so cleanly.
That's one of the things that I don't enjoy the most, with batters staying when it's clearly a catch. Everyone celebrates. We were in the throes of throwing to the break, and then let's hold on and watch it. And to be fair, I don't think the TV does justice to a lot of the catches. So how about we trust the fielders a little bit more?
I think it's pretty obvious too, and when they know that they've caught one, the celebration. He was absolutely brilliant there in the field, but I mean 204 on the board set by Karachi Kings. Some massive scoreboard pressure. A lot of that down to some power hitting by Mr. Kushtil Shah at the back end. Let's take a little look at some of his super sixes.
Well, he came in at a perfect time with the foundation set, and it really allowed him to show how potent and dynamic he can be. He's a strong man who has the ability to hit it straight down the ground, and that 66-run partnership at the end was perfect.
Certainly is becoming a bit of a finisher for the Karachi Kings. Another 33 of just 13 balls, really sealing the deal with some massive scoreboard pressure there. But it was his partner up the other end in James Vince as well, which really helped set up the game and put on that big score. He was our player of the match.
Yeah, he's such a classy player. You just want to sit and watch him all day long. Starts off with that traditional or his cover drive and just plays so fluidly. Today he sort of sat back a little, made sure that they got to that 20th over, got to Kushtil, and then made the impact.
I think a third player of the match performance for him, Lisa. What is it about conditions in Pakistan that suit his game so well?
Well, to be fair, I think he actually scores runs everywhere. I think he's one of the type of players that most T20 franchises want to select. He obviously plays the Sydney Sixers in the Big Bash in Australia, but I think his understanding of the situation of the game and being able to go through the gears, I think he's got the ability to go out of the blocks really quickly. Today, as you said, Bazard, he was able to just slow down a little bit, suck up the pressure, because there was a period of time that they were bowling well, and then put the pressure back on Multan Sultan bowlers in the death.
Yeah, but it's so easy to get runs in Australia.
Yeah, so easy. I mean, everyone can do it.
I don't think we
Did you
scored.
get runs?
Did you, Basil?
No, I don't
Did you
think
enjoy
so.
batting in Australia?
No.
It's impressive seeing the score after score after score, and like Lisa said, he's got these gears available to his game that he can anchor until he has to, and then expand at the back end, or he still ends up belting 5 4s and 2 6s.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that he's not had a long England career, because he's such a classy player. He makes it look so simple, whatever the situation, whatever the game, especially white ball cricket. He almost looks, every time he bats, he looks as if he's batting within himself, and you look at the scoreboard and he's actually going at maybe 180 strike rate. So I'm quite surprised that he hasn't had a long international career, because he's total class.
Yeah, certainly been a big reason for why Karachi Kings have been so successful in the games that they have won so far. Off to a very short breather here, though, in the pitchside studio. Don't go anywhere, though. There is plenty more on the other side.